Hello guys, my name is Tushar and I am working in a Lexus and company. My topic is human trafficking invisible from the naked eye. So I would be like to discussing human trafficking in many parts like introduction, how many types of human trafficking, legal provisions of human trafficking, current situations in India of human trafficking and so on. So I would like to start from here introduction parts. So basically, what is human trafficking? Human trafficking is a cutting edge subjection where women, men, or kids is strongly abuses in which dealer use for business, sex, and work administrator against his her will. Human trafficking is the business of stealing freedom of for profit. In some cases, traffickers trick, defraud, or physically force victim into commercial sex. Also, in this part, human trafficking deals with sex dealing, labor dealing. Like sex dealing is the enrollment, holding, transportation, arrangement, acquiring, disparaging, or requesting for an individual for the reason of a business sex act, which the business sex act is instigated forcefully, misinterpretation, or intimidation, or in which the individual actuated to perform such demonstration has not accomplished or of 18 years old. Now, labor dealings. Labor dealings is the enrollment, holding, transportation arrangements, or getting of an individual for work or administrators, using power, misinterpretation, or compulsion for the motivation behind coercion to automatic subjections, obligations, servitudes, or subjections. Human dealings is illicit in India, and individuals are often unlawfully deal through India with the end goals of the business, sexual abuse, constrained labors. According to the worldwide report discharged by the UN, says that most powerless people are ladies and young ladies with the lion's shares of casualties being deal for sexual misuse and 35% of deal for constraint work being females. So now I would move forward and discussing about root causes of trafficking. What was the main causes behind the human trafficking? The first one is poverty, lack of educations, and women and children's mostly targeted, demand for modest work. Uh, uh, Second one is human dealing produce a gigantic benefits, and these are the main causes of human trafficking. So I would like to discuss some important points of root causes like poverty. So this is the major reason for trafficking. Because why? Because women and children's done job in other cities to fulfill his or her basic needs, so they so that they escape the problem of chronic poverty, but they involve in a commercial sexual exploitations and labors forcefully against his or her will. Those who live in a rural areas where there are less jobs available as a woman and certain ethnic groups who may not be able to get job due to discrimination are gets targeted easily. Now the lack of education, because lack of education can provoke diseased upon entryways for work at living pay, and it can likewise promote a diminished information in rights. The two outcomes can cause individual be at a more prominent defenseless for human trafficking dealing. So these are the root causes of human trafficking. Now, the basic question I would like to ask: does human trafficking only occurs in illegal underground industries? So I would like to know the answer. So guys, please comment down your answer. Uh, and also, I would like to suggest my point of view. Like while human trafficking does occur in illegal and underground market, it can also occur in legal and illegitimate settings. For example, common location of human trafficking include private homes, hotel, hair salons, restaurants, bar, strip clubs, and fake messages business. So yes, It occurs in illegal and underground industries. Now, I would like to focus on mostly who are the traffickers. So, above numerous different components that cause human dealing are simply the dealers beyond the cultural practice, the profit vulnerability of certain people's group, lack of human trafficking, economic instability, and more traffickers are those who favors to exploit people for his or her own gain. Through understanding the basic causes of human trafficking, sorry guys, through understanding the basic causes of human trafficking, human rights worker and other developments professional can begin to handle the cause at the bottom level, enforcing human rights, helping people access education, and helping to extend economic opportunities for people are just some ways in which we are able to address cause and help prevent in human trafficking for future generations. So there are also unique impact of victims, those who are victim of human trafficking. There are the impact of victim because of the criminal activities such as domestic violence, sexual assault, torture. In many cases traffickers become in many cases trafficking victims are exploited by the people known to them, like boyfriend, neighbors, relative, friends, who build trusting relationship in order to gain control of the victim. This type of physical and sexual abuse lead to the mental, emotional health consequences, including depression and anxiety, etc. Now, the impact of the victims are basically physical impact. Symptoms reported by the victim and survivors of the traffickers are memory loss, chronic pain, head neck trauma, loss of consequences, infection diseases, uh, pregnancy, other gynecologic problem, workplace injury, and so on, cancer, occupation, hearing loss. There are so many points in a physical impact. Now I can talk about psychological impact. The symptoms of a victim reported on a psychological impact are anxiety, headache, anger, change in appetite or eating, hopelessness, sleeplessness, sleep disturbance, nightmare, isolating behavior, fear of being alone, aggression, automatic difficulty, concentrating, numbness, crying more than usual, a feeling of sadness or unhappiness, feeling inferior to other, mood changes, and so on. So there is one question I would like to ask: how is pimping a form of sex trafficking? Please comment down your answer. I would like to know how is pimping a form of sex trafficking. I would like to give you answer of this question is if certain behavior and element of a control are present. Yes, it can be. In the Trafficking Victim Protection Act of 2000, a serve form of sex trafficking is a crime in which a commercial an act has not attained 18 years of age. Pimps who are motivated by the opportunity to make control over their bodies and minds. Many of these behavior directly meet the definition of force, fraud, coercions that are the central element of the crime of human trafficking. So now I would like to throw a light. COVID-19 may result in rise in the bonded labor and the human trafficking. So as most pieces of Indian remain or around for a standardized flexibility of fundamental merchandise, the country worldwide lockdown to the battle of COVID-19. The tremendous numbers, over 39 crores of sloppy and transit laborers on the perimeter or outside the financial security umbrella, are foremost defenseless. This makes them the foremost effortless objective for the sorted out word doing system of human dealings. Hardship and craving, anticipate them once they make their towns over some states. They'll be constant into obligation and savage financing cost in any event for his or her each day means this can trigger a few years of between generation service servitude and play less work. Large numbers of children are going to be oppressed also. Now, what is the current situation of human trafficking in India? So there are so many cities in India where human trafficking arises day by day. The first one is Bihar, Jharkhand, Delhi, Goa. These are the top 4 or 5 cities in India where so many cases of human trafficking reported on a daily basis. The global report on the human trafficking in 2018, discharged by the United States Office on Drug and Crime, shows that ladies and young ladies make up the most dealing casualties all through the world. In the current circumstances, after medications and weapons, human dealing is the third most composed wrongdoing in the world. So, this issue of human dealings had stayed unnoticed on account of the high predominance of rustic neediness. Kids from inborn region are the most serious danger of human trafficking dealing, including the individual from Manipur, just as the Nagas from the northeast, while the Jharkhands and the Antapura and Prakasham districts of the Andhra Pradesh states are the few terrorist territories inclined to human trafficking. The Global Report on Human Trafficking in Persons 2018, started by the United States of Office on Drugs and Crimes. So the discovery of the reports likewise make reference to that kids represent 30% of those being dealt, and definitely a large number of young ladies are recognized than young men. It expressed that there is a consistent increment in dealing since 2015. The most influenced state by is West Bengal, followed by Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Assam. Now, I would like to discuss about human trafficking laws in India. So, first is Article 23 and 24 of the Constitutions of India, IPC, such as Section 366A, 366B, 370, and 374. Also, Section 370 and 370A of IPC provides a comprehensive measure to counter the menace of human trafficking, including trafficking of children for exploitation in any form, including physical exploitation or any form of sexual exploitations, slavery, or the freedom or the forced removal of organs. Now, the third one is Juvenile Justice Act and the Information Technology Acts, and also the Immoral Traffic Acts. Next one is the Prevention of Child Labor Act and the Bounded Labor Abolition Act. The next one is the Immoral Traffic Act 1956. Next one is Transplantation of Human Organs Act 1994. And the next one, last one, is the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2016. These all are the laws related to the human trafficking. So, the Constitution provides human trafficking. The first one is Article 23, Clause 1 of the Constitutions of India, mentions that the traffic in human being and beggars and other similar form of forced labor are prohibited, and any contravention of this provision shall be offence punishable in accordance with the law. Now I would like to discuss the case laws. First case is People's Unions of for Democratic Rights versus Union of India, 1982. In this case, Supreme Court states that whether there is any breach of Article 23 of the Constitution of India or not. What Article 23 prohibits in forced labor, that is labor or service which a person is forced to provide, and force which would make such labor or services. Forced labor may arise in several ways. It may be physical force which may compel a person to provide labor or service to another, or it may be forced exerted through a legal provision such as a provision for imprisonment or fine in case the employee fails to provide labor or services, or it may be even compulsion arising from hunger and poverty. Now, the next case is Bachpan Bachao Andolan versus Union of India 2010 case. This appeals has been recorded in the broad daylight enthusiasm under Article 2032 of the Constitution of India. So in this case, the work of the kids in bazaar including infringement of a few fundamental and the statutory rights, to be specific: right to instructions, right to opportunity of articulations, competency to go into contract for working in a carnival, existing work laws and authenticity of argument, and every single legal arrangement managing youngsters work. So these all are the cases of human trafficking. Now, I would like to ask one question: which countries are more affected by human trafficking? Please comment down the answer. And next question is: what types of industries are involved with human trafficking? So these three questions I've asked in the whole video. So I would like to give you answer of this question when you I want to know your point of view, so then I will give you the answer. So I would like to conclude my topic. Mainly the what steps taken by India to stop human trafficking. So government provides funds for the rehabilitations and other victims of the human trafficking. And recently Ministry of Women and Child Development first ever anti-human trafficking law, and also for the first time the National Crime Record Bureau's Crime in India report included data on the trafficking investigation, prosecution, and conviction. Enacting Protection of Children in Sexual Offense (POSCO) Act 2012 is especially allowed to protect children from sexual abuse and exploitations. India has ratified the SAARC Convention on Preventing and Combating Trafficking in Women and Children for Prostitution. So, thank you guys. This lecture is ended, and please don't forget to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. And our channel name is Lexcliq. So, thank you so much, guys.